Hey everybody, Kristen here. As you know, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. And today we're gonna make one of my easiest Instant Pot dinners ever. We're gonna make Instant Pot Hamburger Helper. This recipe comes together using pantry staples and it tastes like a childhood favorite. So let's get started. You're gonna start by hitting saute on your Instant Pot, and for this model, we need to hit start as well. I'm gonna add in just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil here and let that heat. This recipe starts just like you would start a box of Hamburger Helper. It starts with a pound of ground beef. You can use ground turkey, you could use ground chicken. I have 1 pound of lean ground beef today. So I'm gonna add that to my inner pot there. Now to keep this as easy as a box of Hamburger Helper, I'm not even adding in a yellow onion right now. You could certainly add a minced onion, but we're gonna add in some spices later that are gonna mimic the flavors that you find in a box of Hamburger Helper. And leaving out the onion cuts down on prep time and it makes it more kid-friendly. So we're gonna let our beef saute here and brown up and just break it up into bite-sized pieces. Hit cancel to turn off your Instant Pot. At this point, if you noticed a lot of grease inside your inner pot, you would want to just remove it and drain it out. I'm looking pretty good there. So you know the drill. Anytime we saute anything, we must deglaze our inner pot. To the Instant Pot here, I'm adding in a little bit of beef broth, low sodium beef stock there so you can control the sodium. I have 4 cups total. I just added in about a half a cup just so I wouldn't splatter myself. And then you want to scrape, scrape, scrape all the brown bits off the bottom of your inner pot, and that prevents a burn notice from happening. We're going to add in the remaining 3.5 cups of beef stock there for a total of 4 cups. And then to season this up, remember I talked about a lot of dried seasonings that were really going to flavor this well. So I have 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon kosher salt, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. Super, super simple seasonings you likely have on hand at all times that are gonna add a lot of flavor. I'm also adding in about 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. It is going to just give it a really rich, earthy, umami flavor. Kind of mimic the flavors that you find in homemade Hamburger Helper without a lot of excess ingredients. Give that a stir just to combine everything. Then I'm gonna add in 1 box or 16 ounces of elbow noodles. It is best to use elbow noodles for the timing to be accurate. Just wanna push those down so they're submerged in the liquid. That'll ensure that they soften up and cook evenly. Then we're gonna top this with 8 ounces or 1 small can of tomato sauce. We're not gonna stir the tomato sauce into the mixture here, and that also is going to help prevent a burn notice. Tomato products are really thick and have a high sugar content, and if they're on the bottom of your inner pot, they can tend to signal a burn notice. So that's it. Super, super easy. I'm gonna pop the lid on our Instant Pot. Make sure your venting knob is sealed or locked. Now, to set the cooking time, this timing needs to be exact for your pasta to be perfectly cooked and not mushy. We're gonna cook for 3 minutes on high pressure with exactly 5 minutes of natural pressure relief. To set the cooking time, hit pressure cook or manual and use the plus or minus buttons to adjust until it reads 3. Hit start if needed by your model. Has elapsed, you want to let pressure release naturally for exactly 5 minutes. Then do a quick release of remaining pressure by knocking your sealing knob from the venting to the sealed position. Once the pressure is fully released, the lid will unlock. You can open up your Instant Pot. Then you just want to give it a stir. All that liquid will be absorbed by the noodles as you stir. It smells so good. Talk about an easy dinner recipe, but this one's a family favorite. My kids and husband love this. In fact, my husband grew up on Hamburger Helper, boxed Hamburger Helper, and he loves this version so much better. At this point, if you wanted cheeseburger hamburger helper, you could add in up to 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. You could even add in some Velveeta cheese if you liked, cubed Velveeta, and then just stir until the cheese has melted. I'm keeping it simple today and just doing classic hamburger helper. My family loves both though. Dish that up. All right, let's go in for a bite. A little bit hot still. The cook time was perfect. 3 minutes of high pressure, 5 minutes natural pressure release. Your noodles are going to be al dente but soft. They're absolutely perfect. And as they've cooked in the pressure cooker here, they've absorbed that beef broth with all the seasonings we've added. So flavorful, so simple. Your family's gonna love it. I hope you give it a try. And for another easy all-in-one Instant Pot favorite, be sure to catch my next recipe where I share with you how to make Instant Pot taco pasta. Until next time, happy cooking.